Hello students. In our last sessions, we had talked about different kinds of plants and animal tissues. Today we are going to start the next chapter, that is photosynthesis. Every living organisms in this earth need energy, and this energy comes from food. Green plants make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. The term was first used by the scientist Bernays. In the term photosynthesis, photo means light and synthesis means to combine. So, we can define the process like that. Photosynthesis is a process by which green plants manufacture their own food with the help of carbon dioxide, water, and chlorophyll in the presence of sunlight. So, in the process of photosynthesis, plants use carbon dioxide and water as raw materials. Water and minerals are absorbed from soil by root system and reached to the leaves by xylem tissue. Carbon dioxide is absorbed from air through the stomatal pore present in the leaves. Leaves also contain chlorophyll, which is the green pigment of the cell. It captures energy from sunlight and makes food, that is the simple sugar glucose. So the equation of photosynthesis is 6CO2, that is carbon dioxide, plus 12H2O, that is water. In presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, it produces C6H12O6, that is glucose, plus 6H2O, that is water, and 6O2, that is oxygen. Photosynthesis is a complex process that occurs in a series of chemical reactions. Here you can see the steps of photosynthesis, simple steps. At first, light energy is absorbed by the green colored pigment chlorophyll present in the chloroplast. Next, absorbed light energy is converted into chemical energy and it is utilized in photolysis of water. Now, what is photolysis of water? It is the splitting of water molecule and formation of hydrogen and oxygen. And at the last, carbon dioxide is used for the production of glucose. Next, we will discuss about the stomata, which is an important structure related to the photosynthesis. Here you can see the actual structure of the stomata. This one is open stomata and this one is closed stomata. Stomata means mouth in Greek language. Stomata are the tiny pores or microscopic openings present mainly on the surface of leaves, which allow the passage of water vapor, carbon dioxide, and oxygen mainly. During the photosynthesis process, carbon dioxide is absorbed and oxygen and water vapor are released through the stomata. The number of stomata depends on the environmental condition. The stomata also can be found in stems. Next, we will discuss the structure of stomata. In this diagram, you can see the detailed structure of the stomata. A stoma mainly contains a pair of bean-shaped cells. You can see here two bean or kidney-shaped cells are there, known as guard cells. In between the guard cells, there is a small gap that is known as stomatal pore. The inner walls of the guard cells are thick as compared to the outer wall. You can see here inner wall is thick and outer wall is thin. Each guard cell has a cytoplasmic lining and it contains a central vacuole. You can see these are the central vacuoles. A nucleus, this nucleus, and so many chloroplasts. These green dots are chloroplast mainly. The chlorophyll pigment of the guard cells are capable of very poor photosynthesis as they lack certain photosynthetic enzymes. You can see in the diagram that the guard cells are surrounded by some cells. They are known as subsidiary cells. What is this subsidiary cells? They are actually the modified epidermis cells which help in the movement of guard cells. As we discussed earlier that the stomata mainly helps in gaseous exchange and also it helps in the transpiration or removal of excess water from the plants. These are actually possible when this stomatal pore will be opened. So there is a mechanism of the opening and closing of stomata. In this diagram, you can see the two forms of the stomata. One is open form, one is closed form. So in the open form state, you can see here, when the water availability is high, that time the vacuoles present in the guard cells are filled with waters. By that way, the guard cells become swollen or fully turgid. When the guard cells are fully turgid or swollen, that time the stomata opens. But when the water availability is less, that time you can see in this diagram, water contained in the vacuoles are also very less. So the guard cells become flaccid or shrunken. So the stomatal pore become closed. Now we will discuss about the raw materials required for photosynthesis. The main raw materials required for the photosynthesis are water, carbon dioxide and sunlight. Chlorophyll is also required for the photosynthesis. So first is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is absorbed from air through stomata. It is used for the production of glucose. Next is sunlight. Sunlight is an important factor which determines the process of photosynthesis. Light is absorbed by the chlorophyll pigment in chloroplast of the leaf. Intensity, quality, and the duration of light influence the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place effectively in red and blue light, whereas it is poor in green light. Next is water. Water required for the process of photosynthesis is absorbed by the root system. Absorbed water is transported to leaves by the special tissue called xylem tissue. Energy absorbed from sunlight splits the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, which is known as photolysis. So many minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, magnesium, etc. are also absorbed from soil with water. And lastly, chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment present in the chloroplast of the plant cell. Chlorophylls are mainly responsible to trap the energy from the sunlight. This trapped energy is used to split the water molecules. So these are the main raw materials required for the photosynthesis process. Next is the factors affecting the rate of photosynthesis. The process of photosynthesis is affected by two types of factors. One is external factors, other is internal factors. External factors are sunlight, temperature, carbon dioxide, water and minerals. So first is light intensity. Photosynthesis increases with light intensity. It is maximum in blue and red light and minimum in green light. At low light intensities, the rate of photosynthesis is directly proportional to the light intensity. In this graph, you can see that with the increase in the light intensity, the rate of photosynthesis increases. Because as more light becomes available, more chlorophyll molecules can absorb light. But eventually a maximum rate is reached, and after that the light intensity has no effect. You can see here the graph become like that. Light intensity is low during mornings and evenings. Therefore, the rate of photosynthesis is equal to the rate of respiration. The light intensity at which the amount of carbon dioxide released in respiration equals the amount used in photosynthesis, and the amount of oxygen used in respiration equals to the amount released in photosynthesis, that state is mainly known as light compensation point. Next is carbon dioxide. The rate of photosynthesis increases with the increase in concentration of carbon dioxide. In this graph also you can see that with the increasing concentration of carbon dioxide, rate of photosynthesis is increasing. But at very high concentration, stomata are closed. It lowers the exchange of gases, thus it slows down the photosynthesis. Next factor is temperature. Rate of photosynthesis increases with the increase in temperature. Optimum temperature ranges from 10 degree to 35 degree centigrade. Up to 30 degree centigrade, photosynthesis rate doubles for each 10 degree centigrade. You can see in this graph that with the temperature, the rate of photosynthesis is increasing. But after a optimum temperature, it declines. Why it declines? Because at higher temperature, the structure of the enzyme is broken down. The enzyme cannot be used again. So that's why the temperature graph declines. The effect of temperature varies with habitat of plants. The plants of cold climate can perform photosynthesis at lower temperature as compared with the plants of warm climate. The last factor, external factor, is water. When the water availability is less, the stoma remains closed, so carbon dioxide cannot enter. Thus, photosynthesis slows down or stops. Due to less water, protoplasm also gets dehydrated, which affects the activity of photosynthetic enzymes. Next is the internal factors. So many internal factors are there. First is anatomy of leaf. It includes the number of stomata with their structure and distribution in the leaf. Photosynthesis also is affected by the thickness of the cuticle of leaf. Second one is accumulation of starch. High accumulation of sugar or starch in the leaf also slows down the photosynthesis process. Next is amount of chlorophyll. Rate of photosynthesis increases with the increase of the amount of chlorophyll. Next is the presence or absence of the ions. Rate of photosynthesis also depends on the presence or absence of different ions like potassium, phosphorus, oxygen, etc. And then age of the leaf. Rate of photosynthesis increases with the maturity of leaf. But after reaching a maximum maturity, the rate declines with the age of the leaf. So by that, today we are ending our session. Till then, bye and have a nice day.